Welcome to the Community Collective podcast. I'm Johnny B. Good, the flip-flop agent, and I've partnered with the Davison Area Chamber of Commerce to bring you the stories that shape our local communities. In our third season, our focus is about connecting, learning, and celebrating the voices that make our communities unique. Join us during this third season as we engage in thoughtful conversations and insightful moments. This podcast is commercial-free and supported by both myself, my co-host, and our guests. We would be so appreciative if you could like, share, and subscribe as we continue having conversations that matter and cannot thank you enough for taking the time to listen. Welcome back to another episode of the Community Collective. We're excited today because Travis, you're sitting here face to face with me.
Oh man, I know we have voices for radio, but actually looking at you,
It's even worse.
It is. We have
worse.
to make eye contact with each other and actually have a full out conversation. With Zoom, I can just block you out.
Yeah, 100%. I just put myself on mute and let you carry the conversation normally.
Do you even pay attention to what I say?
No, very rarely. Very rarely. It's like listening to it the first time when I have to edit it again.
Yeah. It's good. You know what? I'm excited. We're in what we consider our podcast studio.
It is.
We got some great guests today.
We do.
I'm excited about this. We're really growing.
Well, who are we joined by today, Travis?
Yes. So Davison Township Parks and Rec has a wonderful team. And so we've had Casey Reed on before, which is great, but she is part of an extended team with Vanessa and Deanna, which I'm sure you guys have all met before at any event you've been at or have signed up for or been in one of their classes. So Vanessa, Deanna, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having
Excited.
us.
Yeah.
It's nerve-wracking, isn't it? Your first in-person IRL podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's different, but I mean, we're sitting in here. We're just going to relax. It's going to be a nice, relaxed conversation. We'll have some fun for sure.
Awesome.
Well, and you both love what you do. So this is probably going to be one of the easiest conversations we've ever had because you know your stuff. You have a passion for the Parks Department and what's going on. So one of the things I really like to start off with, and I am always looking forward to asking this question anytime I see you guys. As we look forward to the summer, can you highlight some of the key programs and events that Davison Township's Parks and Rec will be offering this season?
So I guess I'll start with the Family Prom, which is always, we had the daddy-daughter dance, which has always been great, but Deeser does something very similar. So we decided to mix it up, and we get a lot of questions about, well, what about the mothers? What about the daughter or the sons? So we decided to make it one big family prom, and it kind of kicks off our summer. It's the weekend. It's May 17th, so it's a weekend before Lake Callis opening. So our staff get trained. We all kind of run through our big first program. And
I really hope my wife isn't listening to this.
Yeah.
I don't need another thing on my schedule. But sorry to interrupt. Keep going. This sounds amazing.
Yes, we're very excited for it. So we're actually doing a circus theme this year. And we have partnered with some of the high schoolers that do the baton twirling. So we've got our normal DJ, our normal stuff that you would see at a dance. But then we're also throwing in that circus element with some entertainment and magicians and cotton candy and things like that. So
So what all else can people expect? I mean, you have all these wonderful things. There's a family prom. So any ages can come with their families. It can be any number of kids.
Yep. So one of the other names you hear it called is a ball for all.
Okay.
So everybody is invited. There's no standard. It's open to all ages. It's all family friendly. Like I said, entertainment, music, stuff like that. So everybody's invited.
Yeah. So where's this going to be at?
At Lake Callis.
Oh, at Lake Callis.
Like
that's right. You mentioned
kicking it off. Yeah.
Even before the season opens, get into Lake Callis before anyone else can and enjoy a great event.
Yes, and fingers crossed the weather is nice.
It'll be perfect. It will be.
So we have to co-opt it. I mean, this is too good of an opportunity. So May 17th at Lake Callis for, what's it called? The Family Prom?
Correct, yep.
The Family Prom. And then May 18th for the Flip-Flop 5K.
Yes.
That's perfect.
It is.
Yes.
It's perfect right
there.
there.
It's a match made in heaven.
Yes.
Just stay overnight Lake Callis and hop into the Flip-Flop 5K, right?
It's like we planned it that way.
I think you did, right?
So our next big event is the weekend after we open. So it's going to be June 1st. It is our youth fishing derby. This is one that we've done for years and years and years. We have really great sponsors, and so we split the kids up into 4 age groups, and the kids fish for about an hour and a half to 2 hours, and then we give out prizes for in each age group the most fish caught and then the biggest fish caught. And then we give out an overall prize of the biggest bass caught and then the smallest fish caught. And something that every year we have between 80 and 100 kids come out and fish. And it's just one that I really enjoy because I like fishing. I grew up fishing with my dad, and so I like getting the kids out. We do fishing club before, so we can teach some of the kids how to fish before the derby. And
Okay. Well, I feel like last year when I talked to you, you were talking about the record numbers of kids that were coming out to
Yes.
fish. So it's slowly getting bigger and bigger. I mean, and Lake Callis is huge,
yes,
so
it
you have
is.
lots of room. And I know last year you had a lot of great prizes for kids, and you had some great sponsors that were part of it. But no matter what, someone's coming out there and having fun. They might be catching their
Yes.
first fish. And I love it that there's a prize for the smallest fish, because I feel like that was always me growing up, going
So-
fishing.
So to be clear, is there somebody there? Is there an adult there to take the fish off the hook for me so I don't have to touch the fish?
Nope.
We have volunteers around, but we do put in the rules that children should have someone on their own, so their own adult, to take fish off
So,
if
so
they
I need to
can't
bring
do
my
it.
own adults to take the fish off the hook.
Or-
Okay,
or-
all right. Just so that we're clear on that.
Or Johnny, you can probably bring one of your kids, and they can help you.
Maybe they're kind of wimpy, just like me. The
Oh.
fish are slimy.
You just gotta find friends. You sit next to other kids who really enjoy it. Maybe they'll do it for you too.
There you go. Deal.
I'm
Sold.
also looking for an adult for my kids.
Okay,
so
yeah,
if
perfect.
you guys,
Maybe we can co-opt
Yeah.
in adults.
yes,
We'll rent a dad or something for the
Oh,
day. How
yeah,
about
right?
See,
that?
there you go. There's a new sponsorship. Rent a parent.
Yeah, there you go.
Rent an
Perfect.
adult just to help with the fish.
yes.
Love it.
And then, so we have the last day of school celebration on June 20th. So that means school is over. It's a half day of school.
Ooh.
Half day of school. Parents are usually looking for something. They go home, they eat lunch real quick, and then hopefully, again, the weather's really nice. But Lake Callis will be celebrating the last day of school and the kickoff to summer. So we have our bounce houses. We actually have the foam party this year. And we do the minute to win it type games that is run by our day camp staff, which again, they're in training. So this is a good chance for them to get to know the community and kind of put names with kids and get their names out there. So that one's a big one. It's always very popular, very much in demand.
Yeah. Well, I know. I mean, my daughter has talked about a bunch of her friends going up to that. I can't remember if she went last year or not. I know they did the 6th grade farewell
Yes.
as well
Yep.
as something like that. But it shows you guys have a huge commitment to our local schools and getting students up there and involved and enjoying things. And I think that's a great example. After, last day of school, parents are still working. Why not, even if you have to drop them off, go up there, have a safe place, have a fun place with lots of activities where they can go up there and know their kid's going to have a great day and hopefully be exhausted
Yes.
when they come home.
Fingers crossed.
Yes.
They usually are. So yes. But yeah.
Well, good.
And then our other big event for the summer is our Camp 911. That's not until July 16th, so it's a little further into the summer. Camp 911 is one that we also do every year. It's an amazing partnership that we have with MMR, and that is a full day camp. The first 100 kids are free to attend, but you have to sign up in order to get into that 100. We fill up every single year. There's almost always a wait list, but then the kids get dropped off around 8:39 in the morning, and then they stay into the afternoon, but they get to learn things like CPR. They're going into an ambulance to learn CPR. They're getting to see a fire truck. They get to meet some of our local police officers, plus some of our Genesee County police officers and sheriffs. We always have the dive team that comes out and shows like their search and rescue side of things for the county police departments. And so that's an awesome event. Kids love that event, but it is only for the first 100 kids, but it is free for those kids, which is awesome.
So is that it's 100 kids maximum?
Yes.
Okay, so it caps out at 100.
Yep.
So the 100 are free, but after that, if you don't register,
Yep.
no go.
No go.
Okay, good to know.
Yep.
Well, and if your kids haven't done this, I know both of them have over the years, and they loved it. Now, our son, this is right up his alley. Our daughter really enjoyed it. She got a little too cool for some things, but our son, he wasn't able to do it last year due to being in a cast, but previously I think he had done it for 2 years and loved the experience. And I think he was kind of sad when I picked him up because it was the end of the day. And I think when he was tired, but the amount of stuff that he was able to experience was amazing. So you guys are bringing all this up there, and it's a free event.
Yes.
I think that's the amazing part is, I mean, you guys, yes, you offer courses or classes or an events where it does, cost a fee, but you also offer a lot of things for people to come up there in the community or surrounding areas to enjoy something that's at no cost. But it's because you're getting sponsors or you're getting event or businesses to say, hey, we want to do this for the community. And they think of Davison Township Parks and Recs for that.
Yes.
And I think Camp 911 is a perfect example. So, Johnny, if your kids have not ever enjoyed that, it would be right up their alley just to get there for a day to experience all that, even if it's for part of the day.
It sounds fantastic. And, the kids, Jessica and I were just talking about as we move into summertime, finding things to keep them engaged. I don't want my kids playing 8 straight weeks of Fortnite. I want them actually engaging with different activities, sports, things like that. So this sounds like a great opportunity as well. And I love the cost. And let's recall that again. It was
free for the first 100 kids.
Free for the first 100 kids. I'm digging that for sure.
Yeah.
So here's a big question. For these events you guys are talking about, parents that are listening, how do you get signed up for all of these things? Because I know they're going to fill it fast as soon as people learn about them. Yeah.
Yeah. So as you can see, if you go onto our website, we are in the process of doing a brand new software. And so a recreation software so people can go on and register. So if you have not been with us for the last month or signed up, you will have to create a brand new account. But in that new account, you'll get to sign up for every single one of our programs and events. They will all be listed on there, and Camp 911 will be on there.
Awesome.
So if there's still space available, I would sign up soon.
Sign up soon. Yeah. As soon as people know about it, it fills up. I think everything fills up. I mean, your
pretty
summer
close.
camp, the last day of school, Camp 911. I mean, it was unbelievable. I've done a couple classes as an adult, and you show up and it's a full room to make like a coffee mug and learn something new.
Yeah, I saw that coffee mug, by the way. Oh, I think you should take the second class.
Travis did a wonderful job.
Just to let you know, it does hold coffee. It has not leaked yet. I will say
it's a win.
I am very
Deanna, please drop it. Just next time you're doing dishes, just accidentally drop it.
You know what? And it's the one that I let my kids pick out the coffee mug I use every day.
Yeah.
It's the one they always choose. And sometimes they hand it to me and they're smiling like, you attempted something and we're going to make you use it every day now.
Be embarrassed, Dad.
It really is.
Be embarrassed.
You know what? It was fun, though. I think that's the fun thing that you guys do is it's something for everybody, all ages.
Yeah.
Whether it's, my son started off in pollywogs class years ago just to learn about nature, to get out in nature and get that education. But then as our kids have gotten older, they have found different things that they're interested in. I mean, and you have things for families. Yeah. And I think that's the important part is these local parks that are right here are for everybody, but really geared towards getting families outside and doing things together.
Other than special events, we have a ton of programs this summer as well. We actually have a few brand new programs or brand new partnerships that we're super excited about. I have a instructor who's going to be doing a once a month adult painting class, guided class, and a once a month kids painting class, I'm super excited. It's not going to be at Lake Callis. It's going to be at our Soper Nature Center off Atherton Road, but we're super duper excited about that. And then at Lake Callis, we have our once a week adventure days that once you pay gate admission, it's totally free. And I'm super excited about the themes that we have for this year. So if you get our brochure, see on our Facebook page, look at all those themes and pick out some days and come hang out with us because we'd be super excited. I know Vanessa's got another.
Yes, we partnered with Sugarbush this year. I know they've had a lot of partnerships going on.
Oh, yes.
But yes, we partnered with them to take registration for their golf camp. So they will be doing a golf camp for kids throughout the summer. Okay. The dates are still to be announced, but we'll be partnering with them for that. And then they're actually going to do an adult clinic as well.
Oh, thank God.
Yes.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Looks like we have something we can do together.
Yes. As long as I can still wear my flip-flops. If I'm paying, I'm assuming they're going to let me wear my flip-flops.
I'm not making the rules, but I say it's okay.
Okay,
I have no issue with it.
I'm going to go with you.
Yeah.
Don't worry. We're just going to show up and we'll be good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's the great thing is the amount of community partnerships that you guys are creating with every event and every year. I feel like you keep adding more and more businesses and organizations that want to be part of what's going on at Davison Township Parks and Rec. And I think that is something that sometimes you don't see in communities, but I think when you get a focus around parks, it really brings people together. And that's exciting. I know, and I think a lot of people, if you haven't experienced it, there's so many other locations other than Lake Callis. I mean, I know the Chamber Board, we've had our meetings at the Kitchen School. We've had them at the Soper Center. We have one coming up that's going to be at the Historical Museum. Yep. So, it's a great way for people to either host, a wedding reception or a birthday party or have meetings, but then you're also filling these rooms up with events. And I think that's kind of a fun thing, too. There's so many different places to check out in our community and trails. So that kind of leads me into something. You guys have a passion for what you're doing. Could you discuss the role the parks and recreation services play in enhancing the quality of life in the Davison community, especially during the summer months?
Yeah, so I think that parks are super duper important. That's why, both Vanessa and I can attest to why we love our jobs is we love parks and we love getting people outdoors. And so I feel as getting people outdoors, having the chance for adults to meet other adults, kids to meet other kids. Our day camp is not a Davison schools exclusive. And so the kids that go to day camp could be Kersley kids. They could be kids from Goodrich, and they're meeting each other and making really good friends in the parks. We create a ton of opportunities. And so that's our instructors. We have someone who does yoga for us. And so we have opportunities for people to come and teach those things that they're really super interested and passionate about. And we know that parks are super important. And even at the state level, it showed during COVID, a lot of people got shut down, got sent home. Parks were not closed. The parks uptick of people using them during COVID skyrocketed. So much that the state saw a need for adding more money into the parks. And so they created the Spark Grant. That was a statewide grant opportunity that we actually wrote for, and we won. We got awarded almost $1 million to create a multi-use sport court at Lake Callis that we're hoping, fingers crossed, we start building this fall. So next spring, we'll have pickleball outdoors. We'll have tennis. We'll have basketball. We'll have shuffleboard. So it's just getting more opportunities at Lake Callis, at our parks, trying to bring even more people into our parks. And so having those opportunities, getting people together, getting people outside are some of mine.
Yeah, for me, it's building relationships. I live in Clarkston, but my kids are getting to know Davison kids because we're always doing the events, we're always doing the programs, and they're building relationships here in Davison, even though we don't live here. So those relationships are important, and building them and being a community, which is something you see a lot in Davison, is super important. And the parks is just one more opportunity that you can in place so you can build those relationships.
Yep. Well, I know that's what I love is for our family, it's always been that place that we could go and spend time together, create fun memories. Sometimes, we take our dog with us, and that way she can be part of that. But then also, I see the commitment that you guys are putting extra work into getting that Spark Grant. I mean, that's a huge accomplishment. I mean, for anyone who's applied for grants, it's not an easy process. So now you have the state of Michigan saying that Davison Township Parks is getting almost $1 million to invest and update and improve things for our community. I think that is a sign that everything is going great.
Yeah.
That it's growing. You're creating more opportunities just for people to get together and have a good, safe place to go to.
Yeah, we agree.
Well, and I know that myself personally, I'm always wanting to try to find something to keep my kids engaged.
Yeah.
It's okay to go over to Abernathy and just let them run around on the Castle Park. But I mean, there's not a ton of engagement there. We're going to burn some calories, get some energy out into the world, and that's a good thing. But being able to go through these programs and they interact with other kids socially and still being able to follow instruction and, just kind of engage on their level. That's what I appreciate about the programs that you guys, have developed there at Parks and Rec, for sure.
Well, thanks.
Yeah, thanks.
You're welcome.
It is. And I agree that getting the kids out and running around, I have my son.
Mm-hmm.
My goodness, I need to run him nonstop. But when he does a cooking class, Little Chefs. talk about excitement that doesn't require like excess of like just running around, but focusing on something. He asks every time, like, when's the next class? What can I make? And then we've come home with those recipes. Not only do we snack on them, but he wants to make them at home. So here's an example of a kid that needs to be outside running around, but also finds a passion for something brand new. I think that's what you guys are offering. And I think that's something that people need to be aware of, is that it's something offered, I think, every week that you could check out. So now, this is, I think, one of the most interesting things that I've had a chance to talk with you both some, and I know a little bit about your background, but can you each share your journey into the park and recreations field? So what makes it worthwhile working in Davison Township parks, and what got you excited to say, this is what my passion is, this is what I want to do?
Yeah, so for me, my go-to fun fact that I give anybody who I'm meeting for the first time is that I'm not actually from Michigan. I grew up in Washington State, born and raised, and I worked a day camp there. I was an assistant running a day camp. So you can see how that has spilled over into my job now. But I did that for 6 years in between college. And then my husband is from here. So I relocated to Michigan. I had that recreation background. I had that recreation degree. I was good to go. But Michigan is a very tight-knit community in the recreation field. They typically tend to hire their camp counselor who's been in their program for years, which makes sense why. So it was very hard to get in. So I took a detour, just had to pay the bills. So I went into retail. And I walked away from retail with a whole list of things to my resume that I can speak to now with management, customer service, all sorts of stuff, but kind of felt like it's just a job. And then Casey decided that she was going to take a chance on me and saw the experience that I had and decided I was worth giving the opportunity to. And Davison has welcomed me with open arms. I have loved working with this community. And for me, what makes it worthwhile, I run pollywogs now. And I have a kid that has been doing it pretty much since the beginning. And he was very shy, wouldn't talk to me. There was no relationship. He was he didn't really connect with anybody except his parents. And now, a year and a half later, they've come every single month. And he comes in super excited to see me, giving me high fives. We're hanging out with all the other kids. And like I said, building those relationships and seeing how he's grown into himself in this one class, let alone our Easter thing that they do, all of the programs they do with us, and just watching them develop and become their own person and being a part of their own person within the community.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So I had a little different of a start. So when I was in high school, I did the Teen Quest program that's offered. Even Davison offers it. And after I graduated, I got a job working at Formar. And so I started at Formar that summer. Then I went to college. I was going to Northern Michigan University, way up in Marquette, in the snowy state of Michigan. And I was dead set on being a veterinarian. That's what I wanted. I love animals. If you know me, you know my office is filled to the max with animals because I love teaching about animals. I got in. I did not like a lot of the science that was required for the veterinary degree. I went and met with a guidance counselor, and I was like, well, I worked this past summer at Formar, and I really enjoyed teaching. I really enjoyed being in Parks and Rec. So she pushed me towards an outdoor recreation degree at Northern. And so from there, it kind of sprung. I did a whole bunch of stuff. I continued working at Formar for 3 summers. Then I went and I worked for the Hiawatha National Forest Interagency for Pictured Rocks. I worked at a overnight camp in Petoskey. I have worked for Howell Nature Center, working in their wildlife animal rehab and with some of their animal ambassadors doing programming. I worked for the city of Marquette. I was a Zamboni driver for their ice hockey arena. And
Love it.
then I got done with all of that. I ended up going back to Formar. And then this opportunity opened up with the Davison Township Parks in the end of 21. And I applied for the job and I got it. And I love working for Davison. It's been really nice. It's a mesh of all of the nature that I love to do, and I love teaching about nature and getting kids outside in nature. But it also has given me the opportunity to help write the grants and help plan the special events and meet with instructors to come up with new programs and events. And I work with a super amazing team. Vanessa, Casey, Riley, who's our maintenance. We are super we're like a mini family in our office. We bounce ideas off each other, and whoever takes it over to actually make it come to life, it's we have got really amazing programs. And kind of like Vanessa was saying with her kid, the one that comes to pollywogs who's really opened up, that happened to me at Formar similarly. We did weekly programs, and I worked with a kid. He came from a daycare who was on the autism spectrum. He would not come talk to me. He would not come near me. I was known for being the lady with the big white snake, because if you know Formar, they used to have a big albino garter snake. And through the 9 weeks of summer working with him, by the end of the summer, he hugged me and was crying because I was leaving to go back to college. And
wow,
he held the snake and he got his picture with the snake. And so watching him grow in just a short amount of time, because we got to see him every single week for 8-9 weeks. And that is one thing that I always reflect on, because I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to get kids into nature, because if you start their love for nature and their love for hiking and their love for animals and the outdoors, that's going to blossom into someone who truly cares about nature and the environment and Parks and Rec. And that's the kind of people we like.
Yeah, absolutely.
When I feel like you guys' background is all different,
yeah,
I think that makes your team stronger.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because when you get there, you can see not only you guys working together, but your backgrounds are so different that you can say, I can help out with this, or I can take a lead on this. And you guys all do that. I mean, from Casey as the director, Riley, who is looking at all the maintenance and updates, but you guys are all jumping in. If Riley needs help, you're helping him, even if you don't have a background in building something.
Yep.
He's going to direct you. And I think that makes our park system even better.
Yeah.
Is it that varying passions that you guys have, and you bring it together and it makes it stronger.
And having a great boss, I think, helps with that, because we can go to Casey, my Little Chefs program that has really taken off, and I'm like, hey, I want to do a cooking class. And she's like, okay, make me a financial for it, make me a mini plan of what you plan on doing, and you can go for it. Let's see if it works, and if it takes off, you're good. You can do it. And that's something that you don't always get with jobs, having a boss who trusts you and what you enjoy doing and lets you kind of be free and sprout your own little wings. And
well, and it really plays into the fact that you guys work collaboratively, across all facets of the positions, the varying positions that you guys have, as well as with Casey, with Riley, with the other team members. The collaboration goes a long way. We've seen that with the chamber and the work that we've done, is that as long as you're willing to work together, and somebody's not going to say, oh, that's not really my job. Somebody's going to say, yeah, I can help. What's up? What do you need? That goes a really long way. And that speaks to the next question, which was a great transition, by the way. What goes into preparing for the busy season at Parks and Rec? I mean, I know it's got to be just numerous checklists and this and that and everything else. But I mean, how do you really prepare going into the summer season? Is it a year-round thing? And then how do you ensure activities for all ages?
So our biggest preparation comes to the hiring process. We really start to kind of stop and really think about what we want the summer to look like and what we're thinking staffing wise in January. And that's usually when we start filling out the application, what questions we want to have on it, how we're going to market it, stuff like that. It all kind of starts in January. And for me, at least personally, I don't know if Deanna would agree, but a big part is training. Yes. I can hire the best team ever, but if I don't set them up for success, it is going to be a rough summer.
Right.
We have to make sure that they are set up for success.
Yep.
So we do spend a lot of time what is our training going to look like? Do we have training binders? Have we empowered our staff to make decisions that they are allowed to make, and when they shouldn't, and when they should contact us and say, hey, we need help?
Sure.
Stuff like that. So training is, like I said, personally our biggest thing to take on for the summer. And then you hit post-summer, then we got to talk about what went well, what didn't go well, what can we learn for next year? So when we sit down in January, we have these notes that we can look at and say, okay, this was maybe a miss for us. Let's figure out how to change that for next year. So yes, it is a year-round process. But from January to September is really when we are focused in on summer.
Sure.
And then as far as just hitting all age groups, that's something that kind of comes naturally to us.
Okay.
We year-round are constantly saying, okay, maybe we don't have enough adult programs. Maybe we don't have enough kids programs. How can we get more? How can we get this age group engaged? So that really is year-round and something that we're always doing. When we create our brochure, we might look at the table of contents and go, oh, I only have one adult program. This isn't going to work.
Right.
So that's when we sit down and say, hey, what can we do to add? Have we made any connections with somebody? Oh, yeah, I forgot. I was supposed to reach out to this person because they had an interest in it. So let's get that ball rolling.
Okay.
Yeah, I totally agree with the training. Another thing is our brochure. Because we have put our brochure out 2 times a year, we have to be planning 6 months to a year out. And so in December, January, we're planning through the end of September, early October, sometimes into the next December. And so we are constantly planning out. We're looking for new ideas. And a lot of it comes down to who signs up for it. I could have run my first and couple Little Chefs classes, and if I didn't have the registration, I probably wouldn't have kept that class going. And so a lot of it has to do with the community. And so if we run a program and we see that the community is super excited about it, we're more likely to keep it going and repeat it again and again. Where if we run a program and, oh, nobody signed up or only 1 or 2 people signed up, we have to really take a step back and look at why didn't it get the sign up? Why didn't it get the registration? Is it worth doing that program again, or should we try to change it? And so we're constantly planning for the future in programming. And so that's the same thing with how to make sure we have activities for all ages. Is the community helps us a lot based on what they sign up for.
Sure. I feel like you guys listen to people. When you're at an event, you guys are open to suggestions, open up to new ideas. And I think that's the great thing about it. You might have your brochure that comes out twice a year.
Yes.
But I feel like your events are always evolving, changing to make sure that input from participants and residents plays a big influence. And you guys are very open to those new ideas.
Yeah, that's like Vanessa's heading up the family prom. That's because our daddy-daughter dance, we had so many moms who were like, I have a mom and a daughter who wants to come to something, or a father and a son who wants to come to something. And so we're looking at, well, what are other parks doing? There's really no new ideas. We're just recreating other ideas. And so we're also looking a lot at what are other Parks and Rec departments doing. And I can't remember where we saw Family Prom or a Dance for All. But that's something that we're like, okay, well, what if we shift and do a family prom versus a daddy-daughter, so that way we can encourage more people to come.
For sure. Now, as we're nearing the conclusion of today's podcast, and I'm sure you guys are so excited to almost be done, one of the things is, for the community who wants to make the most out of what you guys offer, not only during the summer, but year round, what tips do you have for staying informed? And I know a lot of this has to do with the directory that goes out twice a year as well. Yeah. But what other tips or things? Is there a newsletter to sign up for? Should they go to the website? Give us a little feedback on what's the best way to stay locked in with you guys throughout the year, not just during the summer.
So I would say social media is our number one. We're constantly updating, constantly creating events. It's a free marketing platform.
Sure.
So we do a lot of it there and constant reminders.
Okay. So specifically, are we looking at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok?
Facebook specifically. We do have Instagram, but there just isn't enough traffic there. Okay. So most of it, especially with the events, you'll see that we create events for everything we do.
Sure.
And then we also create those posts to just kind of remind people, hey, don't forget about us. Right. So if you follow us on Facebook, it's the Davison Township Parks and Rec.
Yep.
That's, like I said, the number one way. But visiting our website, all of our website or all of our programs are run through our website. You have to register through there anyway.
Okay.
So if you're constantly checking in, Facebook's just a good way to get it in your face as opposed to having to remember.
Sure.
Yeah, but those are the two big ones. And then
And I also signing up and creating that new account, because with that new account, we're able to send monthly emails. Vanessa does an awesome job doing monthly marketing emails. She puts together a usually front and back flyer and sends it out to anybody who's on our email server. So you could get a list of the upcoming programs and events right to your email just by going and creating an account. You don't even have to sign up for anything. Just create an account, add your email, and say, yes, you'd like to have our emails come to you. And we don't spam you. It's just one a month. Unless you do sign up for a program, then you're going to get those receipts, or if we have to change locations, those kinds of things. But it's usually just once a month. And so it's nothing like some of the other businesses that send like multiple in a week. So
Travis, looking at you, buddy.
Oh, yeah. I tell you, it's all about getting that communication out there on my part.
Yeah. And then I say stay tuned. If you have kids in school, check their backpacks for our flyer. The schools do an amazing job with sending our flyers home with kids, or putting it on their Facebook page, or sending it to parents' emails. And then we are in a couple local networking. And so Grow Networking and the Chamber are also awesome at helping us promote a lot of our programs as well, both in person, online, and in the Chamber brochure that goes out.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I love it.
Well, and I feel like, too, the best way to make sure whoever's listening, these classes, sign up for them. They're going to fill up. And if you want more classes offered, keep signing up. And that way the popularity is there. So go visit their Facebook page, click on their website link, sign up for a class today. But also, if they were curious, like if they had a lot of questions, or they want to get a season pass to Lake Callis, or, go to the splash pad, how does that work? Do they do that online? Can they visit a place to do that? So how do you get a season pass to Lake Callis?
So you can do it multiple ways. Our new registration software, you will be able to pre-purchase it. You won't get the tag mailed to you, so you'll have to visit Lake Callis to actually get your vehicle tag. But you'll be able to go online and purchase that, or just stop into our office. We're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, with the lunch from 12 to 1. And so we're always there. We always have someone in the office waiting with their happy, smiling face for you to come in, answer all the questions that you might have, whether you want a vehicle pass or sign up for programs or help because you want to rent one of our facilities. We've always got someone there to help.
Yeah. Well, good. Well, Vanessa, Deanna, thank you so much. It's great to see how much is going on in our park system here in Davison. But I think the big thing is, it's not just for Davison. It's for everybody in the surrounding area. Mm-hmm. Get out there and enjoy it. See smiling faces. I mean, I know we had the Festival of Flags out at Lake Callis, so we're out there for a whole week. Oh, yeah. Loving every minute of it. But also, get out there and enjoy the lake. Go fishing. Go paddleboarding. I think there's something for everyone out there. But I think the big emphasis is just sign up.
Yep.
Yes. Classes. Get out there. Get your passes for Lake Callis for the summer. But can't thank you guys enough for coming in and just sharing your passion for what you do, and just keep talking about the wonderful team that you have at Davison Township Parks and Rec.
Thanks again for having us.
Yeah,
we appreciate
thanks for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. And without a doubt, you guys as a team, again, talking about that collaboration, you're such an asset to the community. And I know that the community does appreciate that. And we're always excited to see what the next iteration or evolution of what, Davison Township Parks and Recs is doing. And again, kudos. Keep up the great work. I always tell Casey she's my Ron Swanson, so I got to figure out which one of you is Leslie Knope. But somewhere in there is a deep appreciation from the community for everything that you guys do. Lake Callis is beautiful. The programs are amazing. Travis can make awful coffee cups, so it works out fantastic for all of us.
And that's why you should sign up. Make some awful coffee cups with me.
That's right. I'm ready. So thank you guys so much for coming out today. We do truly appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome.